Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Bright Side Home Theater Podcast. The home theater podcast, it's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
the scenes.
Yeah. Oh, well,
we made it, Deej. We made it. We're here.
We haven't screwed up yet. 1 minute into the show, we're looking good. Oh, man. Yeah. Literally, as Steve and I are starting, I'm like, something's going to go bad tonight. I don't know. I have no idea where I am. What a day.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, man, I get it. I get it. Oh, what a week it has been. And let me apologize to the assembled congregation for the fact that I sound pretty rough. I feel pretty rough. Once again, I have managed to pick up a cold from someone else in the house. And so I am walking wounded. Not walking dead, but walking wounded. So apologies for the toilet roll and the sniffles and the coughing and the Vicks vapor rub. Just try and get me through, man. So so apologies to anybody. It's not good. It's like sick bay.
Exactly. You turn having a cold into entertainment.
Oh man, I've got to. Oh
exactly.
Man.
Yeah.
And then and again, DJ, as you know, the others won't. As if that wasn't bad enough. Home Theatre George, Cinema George, has suffered a casualty itself this week. Well, hopefully not a permanent one.
Right.
One of my subs, I've got two. The rear sub is having issues, and we're hoping it's a loose connection, but we don't know for sure. And I've switched it off for the time being because it keeps ticking as if it's coming off and on. And so hopefully loose connection, but it's something for the installers. Because I'm not going behind that rack and start messing around, because had I installed it myself, I would have done. And indeed, in the past, I have. This is how I think it's a loose connection. But not having installed it myself, and it looks like, spaghetti behind there, I am not getting in there and start mucking around, because the next thing I know, something else will go, and then it'll be bad. So I am paying through the nose to get the installers out. And when I say through the nose, I mean it.
I know. You told me. And I was like, it'd be cheaper for you to fly me out there. Cheaper and faster.
Oh, man. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I would.
I might need it.
Little vacation.
I might need to be extradited. Because I
we
might
can do that.
Come back.
Well, there you go. So it's costing me a lot of money. And if I tell you the kind of installers we're talking about, I rang and spoke to them today. And the guy that installed my cinema, the chap I spoke to said, it'll be a couple of weeks. He is starting day one on a job in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So they're doing an installer now. That's the kind of installers we're talking about. They are truly international. There we go. But there it is. So I'm in mourning. I am missing my subwoofer.
Did you not listen to Steve and I today? And a lot of people have said this. I mean, Mikey Schramm and I were saying it. How are you in mourning? If it's dead, you get the upgrade, buddy.
True. Now that is how I am justifying it to myself. I'm hoping it's just a chord, because I genuinely like the sound. This sounds kind of weird, I know, but I like the sound of Cinema George. I'm used to it. Yeah. It's like an old pair of shoes. You put it on and it's comfortable. It's what I'm expecting. And I was saying to you before the show, I put on a Dolby Atmos demo disc today without that sub, and it is weird. Yeah, the whole thing. So, I mean, there's still some tactile bass from the other sub, but it's nothing like what I'm used to. So I'm mourning that. But so if it's just that thing, that'll be great. But if not, then I won't be able to get another sub at the back. There's not room, and that sub they don't do anymore, at least not easily. So I think it'll be two subs at the front and something beefy, perhaps a couple of SVS, something decent. But we'll see.
What's the size? We'll see. We'll talk later. You got to be able to guess it. Ideally, you want them on opposite ends. I don't think you'd get the same. I don't. If you went with two just in the front as opposed to your setup now, I don't think you'd be happy. I don't think because you have a nice ideal setup now.
Yeah, the only problem is because it's a DLS flat box sub, it's only 2 feet wide by about six inches thick. I know I'm mixing the thing here, but so it's very thin and it fits perfectly in that space. And they don't distribute them in the UK anymore. It's a Swedish brand. They're handmade in Sweden. And I looked the other day. So I mean, it might be these installers, because they sourced them. They might be able to still get hold of one, which would be great. Because I mean,
I don't think you're going to need one, to be honest. But
no, well, quite. They're not the most powerful in the world. I'm the first to admit that, but they're perfect in that room. And I love how they sound. And I don't want to lose it. But look, if I've got to spend a couple of grand and get it, do it as best I can, and that's what I'll do. But yeah, I'm in mourning, Deej. I'm in mourning.
It's the best kind to be, though. To be fair,
and it would be the week that bloody June 2 is out. So now this is the other thing, Deej. This timing is terrible, because not only that, my brother's in Canada at the moment. He's been there on holiday with his son, my nephew, and they're due back on Friday. And I've had I kid you not, 2 video calls in Walmarts near Vancouver, and then one in a place called like Loophole or something. And with him walking around and going up to the 4K aisles, and me just going, I'll have that. I'll have that. Get me that. I'll have that. I'll have that. I'll have that. It was $200 in the first one. It was over $100 today. And that includes June 2, which of course came out there today. Doesn't come out here for a couple of weeks. You're talking Andor, Obi-Wan, Migration, Madam Web, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all these, and I'm going to be picking them all up on Saturday and watching them in crapovision.
Crapovision.
TM.
And then that gets you to when you do get everything back running smoothly, when you get Cinema George back to its normal self, just think of the appreciation you'll have. That's why we do this. That's why we do this.
Bright side, Deej. Bright side. I get it.
Yeah. Hashtag bright side.
Steve
Hatt. Doing that a lot.
You know what, Steve? That is a good idea. And that is actually
the SVS 3000 in wall. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So it sounds exactly like what you have. It sounds exactly like what you have. It's not as beefy. It doesn't go as low because it's in wall, but it's very Travis, our buddy Travis, he reviewed them. He had 2. Did he have 2 of them? I think he had 2 of them. He was really happy with them. Yeah, I'll tell you. Go look him up on YouTube on AV Nirvana. Yeah. That was a while ago too, like a year and a half ago. And him and I were talking at CD, and I was like, if I don't get the tactile feel that I get in my new room, in the big room where my subs are my rear subs a little closer, I was thinking of putting one in the wall, the little half wall right behind my seat, just to get that little bit of near field effect, but that's only if I needed it. So, but
are they in wall or are they on wall?
No, they're in wall, but you could do it on wall if you wanted. It's still just the 6-inch depth, but it sounds exactly what you're describing.
Yeah, I think so. But obviously SVS, they'll probably be more powerful, I imagine. But we'll see. Okay, well that's good news, because I have been thinking because there is such a tight space at the back that getting anything else in there would be room probably to put it behind the sofa, the back sofa maybe. But okay, well that's positive. This is why I come here.
We're here for you, buddy. We're here for you. All right, that'll be our show for today. We cheered Steve up. Gotta go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what's our mantra?
Get out while they're still happy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It works if you work it. So work it, you're worth it. I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, there you go.
Let's have that.
Yep. I was excited. Godzilla Kong: The New Empire dropped on Kaleidoscape today.
Yeah. You tried it?
Really excited. No, bought it. Didn't watch that. You know what? I bought going back to like the Raid Redemption in 4K. I got that. I on a whim. Don't ask me why. New Jack City. I was all excited. Don't. I still haven't watched it. Yeah, I love that movie. Love that movie. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, bought that, not watched it. And then today, Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, all on Kaleidoscape. I neither have the time, the disc space, or anything. I'm just like, whatever.
Oh man, I mean, there are loads of it has dropped. Lots of it seems to have kind of all come at once. It's a couple of good horror films seem to have dropped as well. Like Abigail has just dropped as well, which looks amazing. It's like a young girl vampire movie. Looks really good.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. It's, if you look at the trailer, that is messed up by the looks of it. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And rumor has it I may have a screener of that coming this week. So I am looking forward to that. But I've got so much to watch. At least if I see a screener, I haven't got to worry about the base levels too much. So maybe it'll all be screeners next week, Deej.
Yeah.
Screener. Mono. It was great.
Nice.
All righty. Should we say hi to everyone in the chat?
Yeah. Why don't you
we
hit
have
the
a
chat?
we have a new we have a new first chatter, Deej. Right. So Johnny Speakers.
All right, let me scroll back.
Yeah, check this out, man. Look at the time when he did this. Look at the time.
That's great.
Now, do we need to set some rules here, Deej? Right.
Nope.
I wonder.
Rules were made to be broken.
Well, as a lawyer, I'm not sure. Bent, maybe, but not broken.
Yeah, but why do you have to make one? Let people go.
Yeah, but
let them
surely, if you're going to be first, shouldn't you have to stay in there? Otherwise, the minute you put up the show,
that yet.
No, well, no, but the minute you put in the show, put it up on YouTube, someone's going to go, "Hi, I'm here," and then it's not as much fun. Shouldn't it be if you're first, you've got to stay in the chat, otherwise it doesn't count.
So then, but then isn't that kind of a game too? Because I don't always put it up at the same time. So let's see who gets in there first, right? It's like you stop making rules, and then it's like, all right, whoever's just sitting there waiting at 11:43 a.m. Now that's fun. That's fun.
Okay, all right, there we go. So nice Johnny Speakers is first in. Yeah, nice one. And then we have so we've got him. So Johnny, I don't think he's actually in the chat now either. So that says it all.
Probably
just
not.
Come in and then just not come back. So we've got Captain AC3. We have Steve at in the chat. And of course, talking about chat.
Yeah. See, I even put that in the show notes.
Oh, nice.
I did. I was Steve at from the chat. Sorry, couldn't resist. That's what I wrote.
It was a very entertaining takeover studio.
Oh, here he is. Yeah.
So
Steve says, sorry. He goes, I started to listen to it, but I just can't bear to. My wife says she wants to hear it. Hope I get through that without scars. His wife, I mean, geez. Some of the stuff, and like we did, you heard it, right, Steve? And we talked about it. Like, his wife's amazing. And like I said, all of our partners are amazing because it's just like, if you're in this hobby, somebody let you be. Or you're single.
Well, quite, But somehow that doesn't seem to be that often. It seems to be, doesn't it? You know, family guys into this kind of stuff, and then you've got a sensible, compassionate, normal person cares about who the other people are in the house and wants to make sure they're okay with it as well. And it's all for a quiet life. Isn't it funny? We want a quiet life, but we want lots of noise in our theaters. So how does that work? That's very odd. Anyway, there's some psychology going on there somewhere.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah. Okay. And we got Mikey Schramm's in, acknowledging Johnny Speakers coming in first.
Yeah.
And we've got who else have we got?
And Mikey he's saying that over an hour before the show.
Yeah, but he would have stayed in. You see?
Yeah, I know. But look at the conversations going on starting over an hour before the show. I mean, this is all like you got like 253 Captain AC3 coming in second, who probably thought he was going to be first.
I think so. Like, yeah. And then we got Van Gool's in. Brock Stars popped in to say hello. We've got Jordan in, of course. Hiya, Jordan.
Nice.
He and I have been DMing a bit about releases. Fred's in. Hey, Fred. Fred 215, and we've got Paul Hurt, of course. Dom's in. Bonsoir, Dom. Marcus Beeb's in. Hi, Marcus. Jan's in as well. Good to see Jan. Thanks for popping in. And Ariel Alens is in as well. So yeah, man, the group are all here. We are all present and correct. So yes, good stuff. He and we've got the. Just saying about I think Paul Hurt saying, I'm excited for you, Steve. I hope he means me. It might be Steve at. No, I think we're going to have Steve George and Steve.
Or maybe for your new sub. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what it means. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll keep everybody updated. But I'm just praying. It's just a connection. Because then I can get back to it. So there we go. All good. Good.
I had the one up there where Steve is like, Paul was saying, he's like, cheer me up, guys. It's like, there it is. Cheer me up, DJ and Steve in chat. So we'll do our best, Paul. That's why I'm here. And I've gotten that comment a few times this week from people, one that I didn't know listened to the show, and obviously other people that do listen to the show. And I got other friends. Hey, some people aren't going through the best of stuff. So,
No, man,
keep positive.
I get it.
Yep. Make your lemonade.
Absolutely. Life gives you lemons. Yeah. Make the lemonade.
Make lemonade.
And it may be, by the way,
run Google Dolls on a loop like I do.
Don't ask. It may be, Deej, by the way, that we do have a new listener in Canada, because my nephew Corey, if he is listening, did ask for the link to the podcast, so I've sent that through to him earlier today. So he may be here. If you're there, Corey, say hello.
Yeah.
As I say, they are currently my Walmart gurus. They are, every time they go near a Walmart, it's like, just pop in there, see what they've got. And by the way, while we're talking about that, interestingly, they are quite stacked with 4K releases.
Really?
I thought they were
up
kind
in
of
Canada?
pulling back. Well, yeah. And this is the thing. Now, I had read that Canada's not got any kind of dedicated, physical media stores. There aren't very many of them. So maybe Walmart is a bit different up in the Great White North. However, they, I have to say, the stuff I've seen, they've got a fair selection. It's not as good as some, we've got a chain store here called HMV who have got hundreds of them. It's not quite as good as that, but they do have a fairly decent selection of new releases, back catalog stuff, cheaper bits. They're not too bad. And so for an Englishman who has got people over there who are luckily, quite happy to visit every Walmart they come across, it's been quite good hunting. So I'm pleased with that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And more to come. I've got them going in tomorrow night to another one.
Cool. Yeah,
So,
that's Ariel talking about Doom Part 2. Can't wait to feed my hearing senses. I really now I hate to get back to it, but yeah, I really do feel bad for you, Steve, right now, because it's a beast. It is a beast. And I mean, I wish I could go back to it. It is so much fun. And John's in the chat, buddy. You're killing me. I was just, while Steve was talking, I was trying to grab the image. I got all excited. I had a minute while I was waiting for some paint to dry, literally today. And I went on to one of the chats. I don't know if it was quick. I think I saw Johnny Speakers. What a great comment about Steve getting the new guy, talking about Steve at the new guy enthusiasm. And if I had the time, I was going to reply back on that tweet and be like, yeah, because DJ's getting stale. I read between the lines, Johnny. But so I happened to go on one of John's tweet. I don't know if it was Twitter or Instagram or something, but he said closing early today. I was like, oh my God, are we going to be surprised and graced with his presence? I would have been so excited, but and I didn't even get time to text him and ask.
He's probably sat there right now thinking, come on.
Yeah, watching paint dry. That's what I do for a living. That's awesome. John's in the chat.
Yeah, but it's a bad week to get June 2. I know. I mean, it's not out here till the 27th of May, but I'm going to have it Saturday. But I'm gonna have it early because, as I said, he bought it today for me over in Canada, and they're back on Friday. So, but yeah, I still think I might watch it even in Crapovision, because then like you say, then you can compare it. Then when you've got the proper bass rocking, you've got something to compare it to. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
The other thing, you don't even do calibrations, do you? Because you could recalibrate on the one if you wanted to. Recalibrate on the one to that one seating position, because for all intents and purposes, you should be able to get a decent bass response in just one seating position with the one sub. But there's a lot that's, if you're just going to wait, you just wait. Yeah.
That's it. It's only a couple of weeks. I mean, I don't want to, my concern is the people that are going to come out to install it are not actually the same as in individuals that put it in. I think the person that did that mainly has now left. So I don't really want to start mucking around with it, because I don't want them to come out and go, oh, you made such a mess of that. We're going to have to then do it all. You know what I mean? That would not be good. So I was toying with the idea of just turning it up a bit. But I'm not. But
that's not exactly how you want to do it. You want
no.
just doing if you could. I don't know if you have multiple settings, but if you just recalibrate it and save that, and then you'd still have the old one. I don't know on your Yamaha if you can do that, but
yeah, I'm not gonna mess around with it, man. I'll just deal with it and see how I go. It'll be okay. I mean, I'm not, and you know, look, if I was as big a fan of Dune as I am of, you know, Predator and things like that, then I might have to, but I can wait. I'm okay. You know, I'll watch it in Crapper-Vision, and then, you know, but just for the next couple of weeks, I won't be
the
talking about
vision's
the
not
base too
bad.
much.
It's the
Oh, the vision's
audio.
great. Yeah, audio Crapper-Vision.
Well, look at poor Dom isn't getting it.
Mm.
He's saying Dune 2 is not out in France until July. So
Wow. You're not going to wait for that, though, are you, Dom? You're going to import
he's
it from
already
the
seen
UK,
it, but yeah,
surely. Well,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
just
true.
import it from the UK. It'll have all the same languages on it anyway, so you might as well just do that.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, but there we go.
Yeah. All right. Lots going on at the house. I got a really fun, cool update that my buddy Todd already knows about. Steve doesn't even know about this one yet, but literally moments after I completed this, I texted Todd and let him know. So we'll get to that a little later. That's the biggest tease I got for today. I really don't. I sat down with Steve. I'm like, crap, I don't even have pictures. I do have a picture of that because I sent it to Todd. But you want to? What do you want to open with, Steve? You want to open with the
take your pick.
The one in theaters.
Yeah. Would you want? Or do you want to leave that till last? Is that going to be our main one? It's up to you.
No.
The other one, the one we both seen.
You could see here. That'll be our main one.
Okay, gotcha.
We've both done that. So
all right,
we'll do that.
And fire away.
So
let's
we'll open with in theaters already.
Okay, so already mentioned in the chat by Mark Hader, this is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I caught on Saturday as a very, very last minute thing. And when I say last minute, Deej, I mean with 20 minutes to spare. So this was like, it's on. I've got a couple of hours. Right, I'm going to race over and do it. So I drove very quickly, but legally, of course, to the theaters and ran inside. But get this though, Deej, this was a fairly new local cinema. It's not a flea pit. You know, it's quite a decent one. It's called Cineworld. I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but it's quite a big chain here. I went in and I saw this film, and there were only 2 other people in about a 500-seat auditorium for the movie on a Saturday night at 8 p.m. Yeah, so it was like, wow. I was really surprised. I'd pre-booked my tickets and everything. Didn't need to, as it turned out. So anyway, so I got there and I saw it. Now I've recently-ish reviewed on the show the 4K discs of the remake trilogy. So obviously, Rise, Dawn, and War for the Planet of the Apes, and I really like all 3 of those movies. I think they get better as they go. The home theater experience is gets even better as they go as well. They are great, and so I've been really looking forward to this. And I'm very pleased to say I really, really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was very well done. It's 2.5 hours long. I didn't know how that would feel, but actually it flew by. And interestingly, the director, Wes Ball, says that he's got about another 45 minutes cut from this and wants to put it into a director's cut. Now, I'll be happy with that based on what I've seen.
Is he friends with Snyder?
Yeah, well, quite. Or Kevin Costner, because Horizon is coming, and it's, what are there, 4 of them, and they're over 3 hours each, and he reckons he's got 8 hours of cut footage.
Yeah.
Dear, come on, flip a neck. As much as I like you, Kev, come on, man, that's a lot. so
it is. It always takes me back though, and John in the chat, if he's still in the chat, knows it's like when we were in school, and I've said this before. It's like it's something about that artistic mind, and it's like our teachers, our teacher, Mr. McPhee, used to come over and be like, "Stop." It's done. No, I got to do this to it. This is going to be better. And it's like, no, stop. It's done. And it's like, I don't know. There's something in your head, and you just got to get it out. I don't know. But
you see, I always, when someone says that, I always go to Stallone in First Blood. Nothing is over.
Yeah.
That's how I always hear it. Yeah, that's how I hear it. I always hear that.
Yeah. We used to have to do a ton of self-portraits, okay? And when you're doing them, like, just say you're doing them in pencil or charcoal, right? And again, if John's in the chat, he knows this. It's like, so you do them, and what you don't you're done. It's done. But you just have this need to go back and touch everything up. But the problem is when you go back and touch everything up, you just keep getting darker and darker and darker, because everything you're touching up is you're trying to create that contrast. But now you're like, I got to add this here, but that doesn't look as bright anymore. So I got to darken the dark, and then I got to bring the shade in. And by the end of it, it's like, oh no, I changed races while I was doing this. And it's like, Mr. McVeigh, like, I told you to stop. It's like, it is so bad. And it's like, but there's just something inherently in you. Like, I just don't think it's right yet. Well, it ain't going to get right by putting more pen or ink on it.
Well, so tell that to George Lucas.
Well, I know, and that's why I can relate to these guys. That's what I'm saying. It's like that. It's just, you got to get it out of you, and it's like they don't care what you think, whether you like it or not.
Well, it's his birthday today as well, so I think we should, happy birthday, George. None of us would be here, I suspect, without you.
Very, very true. Very true.
Yeah,
hugely true.
The grandfather of home theater, maybe.
Potentially, him and his buddy Spielberg. They basically. He did it in 1977 with Star Wars, and then Spielberg literally launched DTS with Jurassic Park in 1983. So,
THX, without it,
THX
that's what we were all going
Lucas.
for in the 80s and the 90s. That's what we were all going for. That was the gold standard, wasn't it? That's what drove us, I think, through the 80s and the 90s. But yeah, so I get that, but I would very happily back to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I would very happy freewheeling, but I would very happily see more of this. I thought it was great, and Jordan actually says in the chat he thought that he says it's watched it in X Plus on Saturday and thought it was excellent and a continuation of the previous 3 films, and the opening scene is fantastic. It is very good. And interestingly, I read afterwards that the director said he wanted Apocalypto with apes. And boy, is this Apocalypto with apes. Well, there's no question. I mean, you don't need a film degree to know that this is exactly what this is. But it's really well done. It sets everything up nicely for kind of what's to come. It's clearly trying to set up
more apes.
Trilogy. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, go ape. Yes, yeah. And so they're obviously trying to do that, but it's done in a really clever way. There are some interesting twists and turns on this. It's not just a straight linear story. And you talk about darkness, Deej. There is darkness in this movie. So some really interesting stuff. It'd be fun when you've seen it to talk spoilers on this, because I've got some things that I was thinking about in this and some theories as to where this is going to go. But
Steve,
anyway,
I gotta see the first 3 first.
Haven't you? You've seen them, haven't you?
No, I've
really?
never seen them. And after your review of them, I own them on Kaleidoscape. I re-downloaded them, and they've been sitting there in preparation for. I was going to watch them in preparation for this, but once I started in it.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh my God, DJ. So. I told you guys this. I'm not a huge fan. I'm sure I'll like these movies, but I have a hard time with animals. I just love animals so much. I don't like to see them treated badly, even if they are CGI animals. But
they win in this, Deej. They win in this. The clue's in the title. Planet of the Apes.
I'm sure some of them lose. It's like I don't mind seeing the entire cast of Predator get killed. I just don't like it if like a cougar runs by and he kills it, like in the Prey, and you see those little animals, and even the snake, which I'm not a big fan of snakes, but it's just that, so I'm not saying I can't watch it. I'm just saying that, like, of all the things, it's not like I don't have a ton of other great stuff to see, right? So it's just I never gravitated towards it.
Okay, well, I
definitely want to now.
You will really enjoy them, and again, home theater experiences, they are awesome. I mean, especially 2 and 3, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes in particular are home theater demo movies front to back from, the golden days of Fox 4K, the Revenant days, those kind of things where it's all polished and smooth and, it sounds amazing. So I absolutely recommend those deeds. You will love them. I guarantee you. And as I say, the people that lose in that are us.
I don't mind that. I'm like,
So
We should.
the apes win. This just again
Yeah.
clues in the title.
Yeah.
So it's a really good continuation of that, and I really enjoyed this. And as I say, once you've seen them, it'd be interesting to talk about spoilers on this because,
Oh,
as I said, there's a
absolutely.
little
Yeah.
moment in the first movie that I think the first of the remake trilogy that I think leads into this, and I think it's been forgotten, but not by me. And so I think that's where they're going. But it's really good. And I'm really looking forward to getting this at home
Yeah.
because you've got the CGI on this is cutting edge. I mean, it was slightly undone by the projector. We're so used to razor sharp visuals
Yeah.
that any projector on that size is going to be a little bit blurry, and it was a little bit. This should shine in 4K, and the Atmos is gonna be absolutely killer on it. There are a couple of massive action sequences, some huge explosions, where I think actually that really will translate well. And the noise of the apes as the cameras float through these villages and stuff, and all that's going to sound great. And one of the tribes is an eagle training tribe, and so the eagles fly around, and there's a couple of nice Atmos moments, even in the theater, where the eagles come over the top of the room as they squeak and squawk and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Nice.
I might even maybe go and see this again. I don't know yet. I'm with some other people that want to see it, so possibly. But yeah, really, really good.
Yeah. Paul's saying, yes, the first one will be hard. Kind of like the first John Wick. It just sets you up for the rest and leads you in that direction. And then,
but again, I think the perhaps the opening sequence of the first one might be tricky, maybe.
Yeah,
but
that's
rest
Fred
assured,
215 saying, "Yep, DJ gonna cry." LOL.
But the comeuppance is coming. Revenge is a dish best served cold, and it's very cold in this. So comeuppance is on its way.
The sight's the scene, DJ. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and actually, Jordan says, without spoiling it too much, the ending of Rise is more haunting now, given recent years. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the original Planet of the Apes movies, you know how it is that, or one of the reasons that they take over, and to do with the pandemic, and so there's a bit of that in Rise. But it's so good. I really do recommend this. I think it's great, and some really quite sweet character moments as well. So yeah, this is recommended. Either wait for the 4K disc; it'll be great, or go see it. It's very cool.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. All right. Let's see. What do you got next? All right. Let me. You got. So you only have one. All right. You know what? I'll do one right now.
I've got two more. I should have two more, Deej.
You have two more, but I'm one.
Yeah, one.
That's the last one. So let's do this. I'll do this, and it's really, really good. So here we go. I have no scenes, but I am up to Defenders. I finished Iron Fist on Marvel's Defenders. Now Marvel's Iron Fist. That was on Netflix, and now you can get it all on Disney Plus. And I'm up to, like I said, just up to the Defenders. I'm going in order of their release. And this is obviously, if you're watching it on YouTube right now, you can see right on the screen, you see the Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist on the screen, and they get together, and it's the team up, like kind of like the Avengers. This was in the comics as well. These characters weren't necessarily. I don't even know if these four were ever just the Defenders. There were different variations of the Defenders, but I don't even know if these four were. But I will tell you that in the comics, like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones were married, so that's really cool. Luke Cage and Iron Fist teamed up, and they had what the heck was John? I know the name of it. It's they teamed up together. I forget the name. I'm going blank. But yes, I love a team up. This here has one of the best openings. It's awesome. Like the opening sound, the opening picture, because each character has a color, and they utilize that at the beginning of the series. And like, if you're watching a particular scene with Daredevil, Heroes for Hire. Thanks, buddy. It's always got my back. I didn't even finish reading. I just saw Heroes, and I saw it in the little print on the thing. I was like, Heroes for Hire. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the trigger. I'm not even sure that was John. I couldn't read his name. It was so small up on that screen.
Yeah, it was John. It was John.
Okay, yeah. But so in the opening scene, it's almost like 3D. It's really, really cool the way they do it. It's very stylized. And each character you'll see gets their color. It's super obvious there. But what's not really obvious is in the early episodes, whenever they're like on a Daredevil scene, meaning Charlie Cox or, Matt Murdock, it's like there's tints of red or hints of red throughout the scene. And then with Jessica Jones, it's tints of purple. With Luke Cage, it's tints of yellow. And then with Iron Fist there, it's tints of green. And then as they come together, it melds. And I haven't got it. I feel like it's heading in a direction where they just go to more of a neutral, which is all the colors come together. And now you're getting a more like white base. Really, really cool. But I was noticing it earlier, and I'm not noticing it as much right now. But I'm only into, I think, 5 or 6. But they have come together, and between the bass, the punches are really, really good. Just like with all of these, I'm getting a lot of benefit out of not watching a lot of movies because this is not suffering by comparison. What I am getting is if I do go and watch a movie, like when I went and watched Dune, and you're like, the opening scene of Dune 2, and you're like, oh my God, yeah, that's what a movie can do. That's what physical media does. Gotcha. But when I'm like, I watch 1 hour a day, it's streaming, and you just love it, and it's like, that's all you have. It's absolutely bananas. And it's like, I don't know, anywhere around 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. I'm in my theater now with this show. I might go back and watch it again. It's only 8 episodes, but I love a team up. I love teamwork, right? And I love like everything. That's why I play hockey. That's why like this is so much more fun. We have teamwork now. It's not just me sitting here alone. It's teamwork. And every time they get together, it's like watch them, like when Jessica Jones, not to spoil it, she leaves them and comes back. And when she comes back, I'm literally standing up in my theater like, yes, like cheering and laughing. It's just so much fun. And what the other part is they hate each other at times too. Just like in Avengers when they fight, that's what was fun in Avengers when like Captain America and Thor fight or whatever, or Iron Man and Thor. And they do that in this, and it's really, really well done. And I might go back through the entire thing again. So, like I said, it's only because it's only 8 episodes. So, but yeah, and then I'm on. I think I can't remember the series that comes after this, but really enjoying it. Definitely check out the trailer. Go to the opening scene of any of them and check that out for a demo scene. It's really, really good. So, a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, cool. Just whilst we're just talking before we move on to the next one. So Mark Hader says, thanks for mentioning Army of Darkness a while back, Steve. I watched it this weekend, really enjoyed it. Do you mean Army of the Dead, Mark? Army of Darkness is Evil Dead 3.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I mentioned that.
Yep.
But Army of the Dead, if that's what you mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It is fab.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan saying in the chat, I always thought Defenders was one of the more underrated series of all the Marvel Netflix shows. Yeah, I think so too. What is really interesting is Finn Jones? Is that his name? Who plays he plays Iron Fist. So one of the things that I noticed in the watching the Iron Fist a second time is that the first time I watched it, I wasn't crazy about his acting. I thought he was kind of like, I just didn't like it. I couldn't put my finger on it. And then watching it a second time and understanding who he is and what happened to him, it's like I'm like, oh my God, I actually think he's doing a great job because he's acting childish. He's saying like ridiculous things, but he's acting like a child. But when you read between the lines and you analyze the story, it's like his plane crashed when he was 10 years old. He was raised by monks, became the Iron Fist. He never got to be a child. He's still a child. So when you put that in context and then go to the Defenders where he walks around to everybody and he's like, I am the immortal Iron Fist. And everybody else goes, what the hell is that? And they all look at him like, that is the most ridiculous thing you could say. And it's so funny because and like watching him say it, it looks like it's so ridiculous. And then there was one particular scene with him and Sigourney Weaver, who plays a character in this really, really well. Really, she's great. They like are talking to each other. And I'm like, I mean, he is nailing this because he's acting like the Iron Fist. He's acting like that childish weapon. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know. And she's Sigourney Weaver. She's great acting. She's doing, but it looks like if you just took it out of context, it feels like he's not acting, but he is, because he's trying to portray that like, I am the Iron Fist. What is that? He doesn't even know. And that's part of the storyline. It's so funny. So, but
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I must admit, I did start watching Iron Fist. I haven't seen any of the Defenders. Again, as I said, I kind of checked out of them by the time it got to this. It was all kind of coming at once. But I am certainly, I'm very tempted to go back and rewatch those because you've been, really selling them the last few weeks. So I need to do that.
Yeah, well, I could sell a snow cone to an Eskimo, but if I liked the snow cone, not if I didn't. I just tell you how excited I was about it. So, all right. Let's get on to something that I think you're excited about.
Yes.
Are you?
Surprisingly so. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
surprising. How is that surprisingly? Yeah. Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Night Swim, the 2024, I think. It might be tail end of 2023, but either 2024, I think. Haunted swimming pool movie, Deej.
That's why I'm like, you gotta like this, right? It's a
a
horror movie.
Well, quite now. I bought this as an absolute blind buy. I had seen a couple of seconds or so of the trailer. Excuse me. So I knew what the setup was, but only a couple of seconds of it. And other than that, I knew nothing about it at all. And it came out on 4K UHD disc, not in Dolby Atmos, annoyingly. It's only DTS HD 5.1 master audio, but of course upmixed to Neuron X. And I did not know what to expect because I thought it's a haunted pool movie. What the hell? So I went in with rock bottom expectations. However, yeah.
Where is that line? Where is that line? Like Evil Dead Rise or Evil Dead series. All of this, people get Rise from the Dead, but you're like, it's a haunted pool movie. Where are we drawing the line there? Like pools can't be haunted, but houses can't. You got to clarify this for me, because if it was anything else, you'd be like, oh my God, haunted hubcaps. That's fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's just so
you could trade them from car to car.
Yeah, but it's
think just how many remakes of Christine we could do.
Well, which is fine, but you've then got people with ESP and all this stuff, and somehow a haunted house is a lot more acceptable, I think, than haunted pool. I mean, what's next? Haunted deck chair, haunted umbrella, haunted sunscreen.
Wasn't the haunted pool kind of the basis for Poltergeist?
Well, you let out spoiler free.
Oh, sorry.
But no, you're okay. But yes, funny enough, when I was watching this, of course, I was thinking, you didn't move the bodies, did you? You only moved the headstones, and yeah, so there is some of that in this. And I think if you are of a certain age, like what we are, then I think you are thinking that during this movie, well, of an appropriate vintage. then I think you will definitely get the Poltergeist vibes from this, no question. Because at least I think you might be more with it if you've seen and love Poltergeist, because you're like, well, I know how these things can happen. Anyway, so it's a movie that's got Jodie Comer's in it. Our friend Wyatt Russell's in it, who was very, very good in obviously Overlord and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
You gotta be careful, because we do have a lot of friends that we could say that about that are actually our friends.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
We've never met Wyatt Russell. He's never been on the show.
Well, not yet. The night is young. Yeah, who knows? But he's been in a number of movies we've seen recently, and of course in Monarch. He was one of the better things in Monarch with Kurt, with his dad. And he's in this, and it's a very odd story. Yeah, Overlord. I mean, Overlord's just awesome. But so he plays a baseball player in this who's been injured. And as with all movies of this type, of course, it begins with a family moving into a house they can barely afford. And it's all, they've got to do it up, but there's a secret in the house. And in this case, it's the pool. And very odd. So anyway, so it's a very odd story, a very hokey story. And yet I was never less than entertained. I've seen some reviews that have that weren't too enthused about the final act. And I get that. And I'm not going to spoil it. So I see that. However, I did enjoy it, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't. And I was going along with it for most of the time. So story is, I think you take out of it what you bring to it. If you're prepared to go with that, it's a haunted pool movie. If that doesn't make you go, I'm out, then I think you go with it, give it a go, so it's fine. And it is actually cheaper. It was only $19.99. Most of the new 4K discs are £25 here. So, it's cheaper. So movies are okay. It's a solid 3-star type movie. It's one of those movies you're not going to recommend to your friends, I don't think. You're not going to go, guys, you've got to come see this, because you'll have a malignant issue like we had. So it's not one of those that you're going to go, hey, you've got to see this. But it's fun. Now, video is really good. It's digitally shot, so it's all crisp and razor sharp and all that stuff. And there's a lot of bright. It's called Night Swim, and yet there are issues in the day. And the bright stuff, you've got all the glints off the water in the daytime. It's set in the summer, and you've got all this sort of stuff, and all that looks great. And you've got bright kind of pool toys, like inflatable toys and stuff, and they all look really, really good. So video is good, but the audio is something quite special. Especially bearing in mind it's only DTS HD 5.1, again, upmixed to Neural X. Because I think this is quite a clever, maybe even experimental audio mix. Because it's really playful and really clever. And you're a man after my own heart. You like playful soundtracks. You like when surround sound is messed about with. And there are quite a large number of sequences in this, understandably, because it's a pool, where you get characters on the surface who then go underwater. And bearing in mind it's haunted, you then get all kinds of fun little effects. So you've got the audio above the surface, audio under the surface, the audio of things going on above the surface from under the surface, and how that audio changes depending on where they are and what they're doing. And it moves right around the room. And there's a couple of really fun things where voices talk from what should be at the side of the pool, whether they're there or not, who knows? Okay, but you can hear them, and they're in the overheads. And you get some lovely effects of bubbles, really subtle, moving around the room as the characters are swimming, and then going up into the overheads along the side walls. And this happens numerous times in this movie. And I think it's really effective and very clever. And again, it's kind of what I said to you in the past a number of times. I think this is a movie designed for us. It's a movie that is for people with surround sound systems, rooms where you can turn up the sound and just kind of experience this stuff. And it's really well done. It's not creepy. It's not going to scare you, but it will envelop you. And I think it's interesting. And it's a dimension from this film that we would get that most casual viewers would not. And so I really like the sound on this. It's not Dune, it's not Lucy. You're not going to be going crazy with it, but in terms of its overall envelopment, it is something quite special for a movie called Night Swim. Who knew?
Yeah.
But I was really pleased with it. I mean, I chucked it on with a couple of hours on last Wednesday afternoon, and I just thought, it'll probably be crap, but it's fine. But actually, I did enjoy it, and the audio makes it that much better. So I do recommend it. I think don't spend a lot of money on it. Go in with lowered expectations, but it's worth seeing, and especially Deej, when you come to the point of putting in your pool, then you might get a kick out of this actually.
You just described, you're like, well, it's a family that bought a house they couldn't afford, and then they put them like, well, then I'm not putting in a pool. I'm like,
but then they didn't build the house. The house is already there, and things have happened in the house, obviously. Whereas you're building yours, so it's totally different.
Oh man, now I gotta see this.
I'd be curious to see what you make of it. Just don't. I'm not telling you it's an amazing movie,
Steve.
Yeah.
I have it 4K HDR and Dolby Atmos on Kaleidoscape.
Oh, boo. How much is it?
So
500 quid.
24 24.99.
See,
24.99.
it's kind of worth it. Yeah, I think you'll like it. I think you will. I think you'll get a kick out of it if you're in the right mood. I wouldn't
If
save
I'm
it till
in,
Halloween.
you wouldn't save it to Halloween?
No, because it's not a. Oh, is it? I don't know. Is it? It's not a horror movie as I see it. I think it's more of
Yeah.
a thriller kind of thing because there's nothing in it that'll make you go ooh. There's nothing in it that's going to really kind of freak you out. It's very little gore. It's not that kind of movie, but it is interesting. And for those of us with home theaters, oh, there we go. It is. It is well. See there. It looks like some kind of soft core porn film. That's not the picture that's on the cover over here. Make sure Jen knows that this is a psychological horror, nothing else.
Completing purchase. Just did it.
Okay, nice.
And you got to see it
live and direct. And interesting that
direct.
Interesting tease that Megan is down the bottom of that thing because it's from the same producers.
Yeah, that's what it says. From the producers
House.
of Megan comes a thriller about a family's idyllic new home, its backyard swimming pool, and a terrifying force lurking just beneath the surface.
Yeah,
oh boy. Yeah. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, it's like I said. I think if you go in with the right frame of mind, and I think you'll really enjoy the audio, and that'll bring it. It really will make it more interesting. And as I said, Wyatt Russell's great at just about anything he's in. He elevates pretty much everything, and he does play this well. Last act notwithstanding. So yeah, I think it's well worth seeing. Yeah, recommend it for that. But it'd be interesting to see. I'll just see what people are saying in the chat because I see there's suddenly a lot of stuff there.
Steve at ka-ching.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that came before or after I bought it, but
there you go. What we got here? I'm just looking. So what Dom says, want to import it from the UK. Yeah, Dom, don't spend a lot of money getting it from the UK, Dom. You might even pick it up secondhand on eBay or something because there will be some that don't get this at all. So don't spend €50 to get it from the UK to France. I wouldn't do that. Fred says haunted water. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Jordan says, I was surprised when Night Film was confirmed to get a 4K release. Yeah, no other countries had it. Film is okay at best for me personally. Yeah, I don't know why it has. I'm glad it did. And as I said, glad I've seen it. And then Jordan says, it's well shot, given its budget, cast is good. Story, writing, and reliance on jump scares. I don't think there were any jump scares in it that I thought particularly, not in the traditional sense, but still, well worth giving it a go. And Steve Att says he's added it to his Peacock watch list.
Well, was there a diving board? Maybe that's why. If there's no diving board, maybe that's why I didn't have any jump scares.
Oh, I like it. It. We're submerged in these puns.
Drowning in them.
Oh, see, it's all good. I was talking to a colleague of mine earlier today who was dealing with a client where there was an assault in a bowling alley. And I said to him, well, presumably, if you hit someone in a bowling alley, that's a strike. I thought it was funny. It just went straight over his head.
I was afraid you were going to shy away and start backpedaling.
Oh, there you go. Just treading water.
Oh, good.
All right, moving on. Anyway, it's really good. We'll start losing viewers.
No. Braden and I did that once. Braden and I did that on Twitter. He was stuck in an airport once, and we started doing all these bad dad joke puns back and forth, and people were entertained, and people were like, oh my God, this is so much fun to listen to. And then when his flight was delayed and he was on like a layout, like he was waiting for his next flight, and then that got delayed, and he was like, thanks, Deej, that got me through it. Like 2 hours of us just going back and forth with bad pun after bad pun, which is a lot easier when you're doing it that way because you can take a second. It's like when you're doing it like this, you got to think on the fly, and people see you go, it's not as good. But when you're texting it back and forth, it was so funny. We had a blast.
Wait a second. Paul says, doesn't sound like this is quite Jordan Peele, Ari Aster level stuff. No, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
No. Don't go into it thinking that. It's lesser Blumhouse, but it's still worth it for the right price. Don't. As I said, if Haunted Water doesn't immediately make you think I'm not wasting my time with this. So if that doesn't do that, then seek it out and give it a go, but just keep your expectations in check.
Well, growing up
uh,
Catholic, couldn't you just solve all this with a little bit of
holy
holy water?
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, old
Did they
priest and the
try?
young priest. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. In a tight bathing costume.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, but like I said, the poltergeist vibes in this are strong. If you see,
Yeah.
those of us that love
Strong
it,
with this one.
yeah, that's it. The poltergeist is strong with this one. So yeah, but it was way better than I expected. And to be honest, Steve, when I put it on, I wasn't even sure I would mention it on the show because I thought, well, this is going
Yeah.
to be one of those that I'm not going to want to admit that I own or that I've watched. But give it 10, 15 minutes in, I'm thinking, oh, hello,
Yeah.
there's more to this than
Wow.
meets the eye. So there we go.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. All right. So there we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Come on, indeed. Show us.
Show. All right. Here it comes. This is this is what I was teasing earlier. The new it's kind of a home theater entertainment area update. So let's hit it. This is the picture I sent to Todd Sunday, Mother's Day Sunday. So right to as you're looking at this on YouTube, directly to the left of us is the home theater. Okay, that's the wall. That'll be the side wall for the home theater. What we're in right now is the room of like the entertainment room, and this is the back side of it. So if you're looking at this picture, there's a stack of lumber there. That's basically that wall behind that stack of lumber is like next to that window. That wall will hold a big TV, like whatever we decide to put there as a regular television in that room. So this is kind of the entertainment area. But as you can see in the picture, it's like there's a door there with right behind the ladder, and you see my HVAC system there. And I had to ask the electrician how big this room has to be because there's codes on how close the electric box can be to the HVAC system and how much room they need. And he's like, well, by code, you have to be 4 feet away, blah, blah, blah. So he measured it. I go, well, let me know where this wall has to be. I said, I don't want it to go. I wanted to, if I could do a cove, I want to do a cove. And he goes, okay. So he measures it and he goes, yeah, put it right here. So he marks it. I go, do you need another foot? And he goes, nope, I already took my extra foot. You got 5 feet right here. Board can go right there. I'm like, all right, great. So Sunday morning late Sunday morning, we went down, framed the whole wall out, both walls, the door, all that. And that cove, the reason I wanted that cove and why I sent it to Todd, and I texted Todd, said, it's official. I'm getting a pinball machine. That's where because if I don't have that cove, if they were going to make that wall go even bigger, then I really don't have a space because the couches would kind of be there and it would be sticking out into the middle of it. But now that gives me enough space for a pinball machine over there and a video game system, like a stand-up old-timey video game system.
Yeah, arcade machine.
So arcade, yeah. So basically, that's kind of like the arcade section of the entertainment area, and I'm like super excited for it.
Does the pinball, because I can't quite tell the scale from there, D. So, but the pinball machine won't go over that door, then will it?
No. So like where my finger is pointing is the cove. Okay,
yeah.
So like next to it. So you see the window there.
It's a window, not a door. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. That's a window, and I can give you some. It's from that window to the wall is almost 6 feet.
Okay.
Right, and then it's over 7 feet wide. And so you got enough room there, like a pinball machine's probably not even 3 feet wide, right? And I got 7 feet. And a regular, like an arcade game is that's not 3 feet wide, or maybe if it is, I'd still have and both of those can just stand in a line. You don't have to be to either side of them, right? So it gives me enough room to put that in there, and with a little bit of nice lighting, it's going to be, so it should be, I'm really excited just to be able to have that. And then somebody says pool table, DJ Keith saying it in the chat. Pool table, it's like maybe in my attic if I wanted one. I just don't see. One of the things is my first choice was my buddy has a pool table. I have a few friends with pool tables, and everybody's like, they're great, you want one? And then it just sits there and takes up an entire room because they're so big, and you usually need people to play. My first choice was a bubble hockey table, and I still would like to get that. But like we saw Todd's, but you need multiple people for it. So it just kind of sits there unless somebody else is around. The two pieces I've chosen are pieces I can use by myself, right?
Yeah.
And it's like if people are over, aesthetically they're entertaining, but do I necessarily know that a bunch of people are going to come over and play table hockey with me? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. But at least I know with this, it's fun. And I can do it by myself, or people can come over and we can whatever.
So tell me this, indeed. Right, here's the question then, the $64,000 question. I presume now the pinball one, I don't think it is a question. That's going to be A New Hope, surely.
I
Because
don't
you
know.
can get a Star Wars A New Hope pinball. You can get them.
Yeah, and I think Todd told me about that, but some of the ones he was telling me about, there's a Terminator 2 one. He started telling me like in the newer versions of these, they're just like, I mean, when the last time him and I talked like this on a chat, he was just describing the entire thing, and I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, I had no idea, but I'm like so into it now, and I haven't had time to even look at one, but never mind. But everything he was saying, it's much like what I do to people about movies, he did to me about pinball machines. And it's like, I'm like, very excited for it. Very excited.
And then what arcade machine are you going for? Now, this is something from our youth.
Yes.
Those of us of this appropriate vintage. What are you going for, Deej?
What I was thinking of is I wanted to do something like, originally I wanted to do like an original, like vintage, like a Pac-Man or Asteroids or a Space Invader. There's a number of them that I would be like, oh, I would love to have that. And I actually did shop for them. And then I started to find the ones that are they're like $3,000, and it's like $3 or $4,000, and it's everything. And it's like you get them all, and it's like even like you even get the remember Asteroids had the ball, so the cabinet has the ball in the middle, but you have dual sticks, so two people can play. You can do, and then it's like I forget the company that I found, but Todd did know who it was. And he's like, oh, yeah, they're very good. And you do add-ons and you do updates and you can buy games later and they just download right to the system. And he goes, it's all legit. It's all real. Like it looks and feels real. So I'm like, well, then why would I? And it's actually more expensive to go with the single cabinet because it is vintage and you're going to pay to get that to run right and be the real deal. So people do that. Collectors will do that. I would rather do like just the oh my God, I want to play Space Invaders. I want to play Asteroids. I want to play Tank. I want to the shooter game. Remember the what the hell was it called?
Operation Wolf.
That one. No, but
Time Crisis.
Time Crisis. Remember Time Crisis?
Yeah,
oh my God, with the light guns. It has. That's an upgrade to it. You can buy the dual light guns, so two people can be playing Time Crisis. Has the sound, everything. So, yeah, it's it's something that I think that'll be a lot of fun too. So that's a ways away. The theater will be done before all this stuff goes in.
Well, they're sort of icing on the cake, aren't they? These are your frosting. Sorry, not we call it icing. You call it frosting on the cake.
I understood you, Steve.
but it's very cool, and to be able to, again, if you can get one that has all the different games on it and you can choose between them, then why not? But no, it does sound very, very cool. I do like, I like the sound of that. But surely it's got to be the New Hope pinball machine. Surely,
I don't know. You'd think.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then listen to Todd. He trades these things, and he has a ton of them. So maybe I'll start with a New Hope, and I'll trade and exchange. I don't know. I just want like when I'm talking to people and I'm in a bad mood or something, and they're like, "Are you putting a pool in the house? Let me finish the house first."
Yeah, fair enough.
So, but no, and I'm not in a bad mood right now, so I do like that. But I don't know. I'm not going to promise anything. I'm trying to promise the house will be done.
That's the first thing, yeah.
So.
Oh, man, that's cool. What are you doing for a sound system in the basement then, DJ? Are you putting through like speakers in the ceiling and that kind of thing, or are you gonna a house wide sound system, or are you gonna kind of have?
I don't know. I probably most likely I'll probably do what I did here when I'll do Sonos, because I just found it to be simple for me, and it's like where I'm not super concerned with audio quality elsewhere. I know in my living room I've got Ara's speakers, and that won't be included in the, just like this house is now. But pretty much like probably there, maybe I'll do like a Sonos Atmos setup in the entertainment area.
Yeah.
So I'll have that, you do the sound bar and the rear channels, and that's your Atmos, and that would be kind of fun to do. So yeah, and then it's always easier too to move stuff around, because I've already got 2 sound bases for out by the pool, not sound bases, but the moves. So you take those out and you can go outside with them, and they last. It's like, so it just seems easier. So
yeah, well, fair enough. No, it does sound cool. And but you want your music. I mean, if you're going to do movie nights, one of the best movie experiences I had was with Jurassic Park, and we'd been queuing, and they had the soundtrack playing, and we'd been queuing for a couple of hours. And so when you then went into the movie and the soundtrack began, it was like, oh my god, it's amazing.
yeah.
So to be able to have an entertaining area, little couple of drinks by the bar first, with the soundtrack playing of the movie you're going to show, and then bring people in, it's kind of cool. It's a real event. So yeah, man, that sounds kind of cool.
And that's what's fun about Sonos is it's so, you could have, like that exact example, you could have that playing throughout the house, or if you wanted to be in a different room and listen to or watch something else, you can change that one speaker, but maybe other speakers you could have doing all Jurassic Park, or you know what I mean? So it's like, it's so easy to do just from the app, and you'd be like, just choose the speakers you want playing, and bang, that's what you do. And it's, so
yeah, it's cool. No, it sounds good. Well, we've got I won't say the word. We've got some Amazon speakers that run throughout the house here, so we can just talk to them, and they play music, and that can be done off your phone as well. Which there's one right behind me, which is why I can't say the name, because the bloody thing will start talking. So it is cool, and it is good when they play outside too, and you can open the windows, and you can then have that the music out in the garden as well. It sounds cool. Very cool.
Yep.
I like it.
So looking forward to it. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But
yeah.
All right. You ready to get to this last one, which we both watched?
Yeah, we did.
I was surprised.
Well, yeah. Can we quickly talk packaging just before we talk about the last one? We got 2 minutes for that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
We got a little bit of time here. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be getting done in 21 minutes. So we got our last one here, and
who would have thought, Deej? Who would have thought that I would talk about packaging? Me, the person that doesn't use the packaging. But so incensed was I by a disc that came out this week that I think it ought to be raised. So Queen, Rock Montreal, and Live Aid came out this week, and here it is. And it's not cheap. It's a 4K disc. There's 2 4K discs in here. So you get the Live Aid concert set, and you also get the Montreal one.
There you go.
Yeah, hold this up. Yeah. So it's £30 over here. So it's an expensive release. Okay. It is out in the US, I think, as well. And yet, look at what it comes in. This is a cardboard sleeve. Right. And the discs are held in place with a little cardboard bit here, so that as soon as you open it, they fall out. Now, luckily, when I did that, I caught it. So they didn't hit the ground. But knowing how temperamental and problematic 4K discs can be with a scratch, that's outrageous. So yeah,
right.
£30, $30 for a slip of cardboard.
See, they removed your opportunity to do that to it.
What, with my ninja reflexes?
No. You're like, it should never come in just cardboard. Give me plastic so I can put it in cardboard.
Yeah, well, yeah, but my cardboard's better. This is not good.
Yeah, but now you can just see. I think what you're mad at is they copied you, but you still can't use it because it doesn't match.
Oh yeah. But
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah, a little bit. Because I wouldn't. I mean, I'm quite happy to put it into my cardboard sleeves. But what I'm thinking is the poor saps that buy this, that will put it on a shelf with it, are going to be livid, because one, you can already see it's kind of moving there, but that ain't going to match anything that's already on your shelf.
Right.
And it's a premium release, £30, and $30. It's a lot of money. It'll probably be 35, something like that over there. and yet just a little cardboard sleeve where you open it up and the discs come flying out. It's not good.
And a cardboard sleeve expert like yourself almost dropped them. So
well, exactly that. Yes, yeah. But they're not.
What's the poor lay person gonna do?
Well, without ninja reflexes, but they
Right.
don't cover the thing. There's literally just this little cardboard bottom part of the disc here that holds it in place. Whereas my sleeves, the whole disc goes in, and so it they just come out straight away like that. They just fall out. So it's and given how, as I said, how temperamental 4K discs are, you get any scratch on one and then it's game over. They're nowhere near as robust as Blu-rays. I personally don't think, not in my experience. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And it's a public service announcement. If you are going to get this set, watch out.
Aren't meant to be played like frisbee with them, like
yeah, not meant to be used as coasters, Deej.
Oh, it's only a New Hope. That's my coaster. New Hope sitting right here.
Is that your Mikey Schramm Blu-ray of A New Hope?
No, this is like, look, it even says like DVD number 9. Oh, this is a DVD from back before the DVD existed, so it's some bootleg that I thought was legit. I don't even. Yeah.
So Steve At says. So Steve At says $33 give or take on USA Amazon. So it's not cheap.
Wow.
It's naughty, isn't it? Steve says that's criminal. Well, as a criminal lawyer, it's not, but I can see how it's pretty poor. And then Jordan says, super cheap and lame packaging. I mean, for quite a big release as well. Queen, I don't know anything about music, but it's a big release.
The Star Wars was kind of like that too. Do you remember the packaging? And it was hard to slide it out. I couldn't slide out the different discs, and when you have to, like, when they're in the plastic and you have to bend them, so you're like afraid you're gonna bend the disc itself, and you're like trying to be careful with it, and it's most people, 99% of the population, doesn't care if they break the disc or not. They're just like, they'll get it out. But we're always like, borderline white gloving it, and you're like, I don't want to break it, because you probably got up early in the morning, headed to your local store, bought it, so you get home and watch it. Now, if you break it, you got to go back to the store.
And a $200 set too. So that was even more.
On that,
No, I've still got it displayed in the equipment room. That's one of the few box sets I actually display. So it's just very, very disappointing, I think. But anyway, there it is. I just thought, again, people need to know, if you do get it, just watch out. The minute you open it, just have a safety net ready to go.
There
we go. Anyway,
Richard Zagazeski, is that how you say it?
It looks like Zagazeski.
He's saying in the chat, my Laserdisc Star Wars had good packaging. Yeah, mine too. Richard, are you talking about the box set that came? It like had velvet inside or something. I still have mine. I haven't opened it in a while. Mine's on display in my theater. But yeah, the Laserdisc Star Wars was really, really good packaging, and it almost looked like, I want to say it kind of looks like bonded leather. It's not, but it looked that way. So pretty cool.
Nice. We've got Keith says my Oppenheimer is ruined. I hope that's not a euphemism, Keith. And actually, that could get even worse. Got scratched when my son dropped it. Again, let's hope it's not a euphemism. I'm talking about the disc. But yeah, they are very, very, I mean, it's one of the very first experiences I had with 4K. It's just how the discs have got to be ultra clean. No marks, scuffs, scratches.
Oh, yeah, because you're getting a lot more information into a same amount of space. And it's just, when they went from DVD to Blu-ray, you got less tolerance for any of that stuff. And it was, it's my friends early on, even with Laserdiscs and DVDs and stuff, my kids knew how to manipulate them. And I was like, be very careful with this. Don't, even as, I tell the story all the time. My son was probably 2 years old, and my people would come over to babysit, and he's pulling out Laserdiscs and putting them in the right way. Because I taught him how to do it. Yeah, I taught him how to do it. And it was like, people were like, how does he know? Sorry, Richard. I won't put that one up. But even those were nice too. They had the Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, all of those, they had the special color coded and everything. They were nice. But All right. You ready to
There
get
we go.
to our final one? This was so much
Oh,
fun.
yes.
I hope that
Yeah,
you
it
liked
is.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Let's go.
Okay, do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
No, go ahead. Take it
Okay, okay.
away.
So this is then from my side of it, DJ. I don't know if it's from yours, but from my side of it, this is the recent 4K trilogy release of the Oceans trilogy, and this is the
Mhm.
first one in that trilogy, Oceans 11. As it
Yes.
turns out, I've never seen Oceans 1 to 10. I don't know what they're like, but anyway,
Yeah.
Oceans 11 is a crap joke. Apologies.
Ocean's
Uh,
1 was just his years in prison.
Yeah, it was just ocean. Surely you can't have
Ocean.
oceans anything. Yeah, ocean,
Yeah.
and then
Ocean.
oceans too. So this is Ocean's 11 anyway, when we come to it. And this is obviously the very famous remake with an all-star cast, truly an
Yeah.
all-star cast of Julia Roberts and George Clooney and Brad Pitt and Matt Damon and Andy
Oh,
Garcia and everybody and anybody, Elliot Gould, the whole shebang. The
yeah.
less said about Don Cheadle, the better, Deej, because we'll start talking about accents. Let's not do that. We'll focus on all
I
the other good
loved
stuff.
it.
It
Wasn't
is
Spanish, was it?
worse. No, gosh, no, it is the worst English accent, bar none. It's worse than Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins, and that was quite bad. He is dreadful in this. His accent is, I don't know what he was doing in this, but anyway, I don't.
Okay.
What it is though is a remake of the Rat Pack
Yeah.
um, thing in the 60s. It's awesome and very very fun movie. And this is one of those exceptions, Deej, where famously the more fun you have making a film, the less fun the audience have watching it. But
No. Yeah,
generally,
this one is the
the more
exception, yeah.
exactly that. Everybody looks like they are having a blast in this, and it's infectious. That kind
Yeah.
of that sparky interaction, the way that lines are
Yeah.
delivered, the way that
You
people look at one another, you can't help but kind of get swept up in it.
you can't write and direct that scene at the bar at the beginning. And he's like, do we need one more? You're saying we need one more.
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
need we need one more. All right, we'll get one
Yeah.
more. And it's like, but then
So
Brad Pitt, just like, you can't do that. That's friends. That's just guys like setting the camera up and going, let's do this. It's like, I
yeah.
mean, it's just so good.
Oh, it is great.
It's,
And I mean, even
and
the
all the way
interplay.
through the movie.
It is. Well, the interplay between Clooney and Julia Roberts, I mean, the way they do that
Yeah.
is absolutely awesome. And only two people who are very good friends in real life
Yeah.
can deliver that and pull that off. I mean, it's awesome. And I
Yeah.
love this film, and I've seen it many, many times. This is one where I've owned the Blu-ray,
Yeah.
the DVD, the Blu-ray, and now the 4K disc. So it's really good. It hasn't aged a day. I think that
No.
the twists and turns are still really fun. I'm not sure it all quite hangs together, but it is still lots of fun, and you can't
So
hold it against it. I don't think.
no, but what I thought was interesting is knowing how many times I've seen this, when you know the story, and if I had the time, I wanted to go back and actually make the scene and be able to compare the two. At the end of the movie, everything they did. I forget the time, but it's at the beginning when they remember the code names for everything?
Mhm.
But they're like, oh, we'll need a blokey, and we need a this, and we need a that, and then
Ella
we need
Fitzgerald and
maybe two of them. What do you get?
yeah.
But then right before that, they also describe everything they have to do, but they describe it in their own vernacular. Go back and watch that right after you've seen it, and you'll be like, oh my God, it's like it's all spelled out, how intricate the entire plan is, but those two are just riffing. And they're like,
Yeah.
I know that's just a story, not real life, but it's like they just explain the whole thing. And it's just really cool to the point that I know spoilers, but it's a very old movie and it's a remake of a movie, but the twist of it is spelled out at the beginning as well. Right? So like Brad Pitt, when you find it's like, it's so much fun. It's just, and then, but let's get to the home theater part, because
Yeah.
I was actually very surprised at like how good and how much fun it was, because in the home theater part.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And this is I think an original camera negative remaster as well. And I think it must be. It's definitely a remaster. It's not just an upscale
Yeah.
version of what's come before. And I think you can tell that from the very first shot. As soon as you see George Clooney as Danny Ocean, in the parole board meeting, and there's just that shot of him where you already get some great lines. I mean, I don't think she'd leave me again just for kicks. But what is he, as he's kind of sat there, you can immediately tell that this is a 4K remaster. Look at the detail on his forehead. Look at the lines and the wrinkles that are on there.
You see a little bird on the window in the background?
Oh no, I didn't see. No, I didn't see that. No.
There's a little up on if you're looking on your right hand side, I think it was. So look up there, and there's a little bird, and he's like, what is he doing there? Right, but it's there. I never noticed it before.
Yeah, no, okay. I was too transfixed with George Clooney's face. And just the little details on his forehead, the little thing, because that was always quite a noisy shot on the Blu-ray and on the DVD, because it's very grainy and quite noisy and quite distracting, but it looks great. And the sort of yellow and white of his sort of jumpsuit really looks good. And so that's the opening shot. And I was thinking, oh, okay, we're in for a bit of a treat here. Now, I think
we're headed to Vegas.
Well, well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and the colors on it, the HDR and the wider color gamut on this is really put to good use. I mean, it might run a bit hot at times. I mean, I think, there are scenes at certain times where Brad Pitt looks like he's been sunburnt. But that I think is very much just a part of the texture of the movie. You wouldn't want them to have desaturated that. It would look weird. So it's just part of the film, and that's fine. But it does look better than it's ever looked.
And Ted Nugent wants his shirt back.
Yes, he's called. He wants his shirt back. But all the very old school kind of. I mean, if you look at Elliot Gould's garden and the pool, and the dressing gown that he's wearing, and the robe, the bathrobe that he's got, and the hair on his chest, and all of that stuff is really
see that.
It is all a little bit much,
in 4K.
Isn't it? But it looks great, and it looks. Do you know what? It looks gaudy, which is exactly what it's supposed to look, isn't it? It's supposed to be over the top, garish. Because if you then see how Pitt and Clooney are dressed in that scene, it's supposed to be very OTT, and it looks great, even down to the salad that they're eating. You look at the greens and the reds of the tomatoes and the salad, all that kind of really kind of leaps off the screen. Not enough to make me want to eat a salad, but at least I've seen it.
The fountains. The fountains that they show a few times, but at the end when they show them, and you can actually, with the detail that you get now, it was probably there before, but the detail that you see is like when they shoot the fountains up, the water disappears, and then you see the water come back down. Whereas before, I don't think you got that detail in each of the drops that was now missing, and then the drops that are coming back down that have gone off screen. There's so much detail. The casino floors. Just look at the casino floors when they're walking around, and not look at the characters. Look down at the floors and stuff. There's so much detail. The bright. I mean, Brad Pitt's outfits. Right. And then the other part, his food. Like
he's always eating.
Every scene he's eating something, like some kind of hand food. And he's always eating. And it's just like nobody could eat and talk and act and still look that cool unless you're Brad Pitt. It's like
quite. Yeah. And notice, by the way, he never finishes his food. He always throws it away. He never finishes it. Yeah, he always just chucks it away. It doesn't look like he throws it on the floor, by the way, litterbug.
No. The one scene when they're sitting with Elliot Gould, where he's supposed to be, he doesn't eat.
Yes.
They don't eat.
It is so weird how they do that. So it looks great. Now the audio. Now Todd, actually, funny enough, because after I'd seen this, bearing in mind I was aware at this point when I was watching this that I was having some sub issues. Nothing too bad at this point. It was it was just clicking. But I was disappointed with the bass for much of this. Thought it was quite thin at times, and so I went online. I thought, has anyone else noticed this? And Todd reviewed it, and Todd said, "Yeah, the bass is lacking apart from when they, shoot out the tires of the van and they blow the bolt." And I think that's right. I think that's right. Even with my sub issues, I could tell that. But there are some really nice sequences in this. I mean, the fight. When they go into the arena, the whole room came alive for me. You can hear distant conversations, you can hear cheers, and you can hear jeering. And it's like, again, I know I always say it, but it's like someone has just taken your room and just pushed the walls
Push the
out.
wall. Yep.
Yeah, and you'll suddenly feel like you're in this giant auditorium, and that was really effective. All the speakers come alive in that moment. And it's and again up mixed. This is only in DTS HD 5.1 for me. I don't know if it's an Atmos. Actually, no.
Nope.
Do you know what?
No,
It is
5.1.
Atmos.
I'm pretty
Do
sure.
you know what? I think it's oh my goodness. Is it Atmos?
Let me see.
Do you know what? I'm doubting myself now, DJ. Let me have
No,
a
it's
double.
it's
Is it 5.1?
Yeah, just 5.1.
Okay.
DTS Master Audio 5.1. Yep. That's what I have.
Right, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
And,
So
the Blu-ray is the
I'll
same.
check.
Oh, the 4K
Yeah.
Blu-ray, it's DTS.
Yeah.
But it's,
so up mixed again.
somebody was saying, Van Gool said it. Said it's a new DTS 5.1 and adds Vegas effects around you. So sounds like Van Gool's saying it's an upgraded 5.1. So
well, it's certainly,
and when we upmix it, it's really good. I mean, I didn't like. It's funny you say it was lacking in bass. It might have been lacking in bass, but it didn't need it. It's not. There's not a. I mean, you know what I mean. And then the two scenes that did need it, you said those were good. But you know what I mean. So it's like, you don't need.
It's not that kind of film.
No. And that's why I was kind of surprised at how good like the audio was, how good the video was, and how like entertained I was by that. Where this is literally something like you watch on a plane on your laptop, and you're not missing a damn thing because it's just so good. It's so much fun to watch the actors. But it is enhanced in our theaters more than I thought it would be. I really am surprised. I mean, honestly, you know.
And the music has a nice, again, the front soundstage is really wide, and that feels really good. I mean, you get the little bit of Take My Breath Away with the 80s flashback, and you get the, the jazz stuff, all sounds like that, it's a really wide soundstage at the front. Doesn't creep much into the rears, but it still, sounds really, really good. Yeah, I mean, it's a great presentation of a really good movie. And hopefully
or even the difference. Even the difference of people talking personally. So they're on the Vegas floor or something, and you're getting the Vegas floor ambience. But then maybe you're watching, and not to spoil for anybody, you're watching a scene where you're watching somebody talk on a monitor or a television set, and you're getting that difference, right? And it's like, it's those little things like that I was like noticing. I'm like, man, this is really well done for a talky movie, where it's all just about the acting and fun. So. Really good.
That's really good. Yeah, very, very, very impressed with this. Well worth picking up the set if people unless you've got the Kaleidoscape, but you've got the trilogy. It came out as a trilogy, a steelbook trilogy, and well worth picking up, definitely. Yeah,
I haven't bought 12 yet, but I'll get that and watch that one. They are very addictive. Like somebody said in the chat, like who was it? Said it's like it's one of those movies. Oh, there it is. Keith saying Ocean's 11 is one of those movies you can't stop watching, and it is. It's like so easy. You're flipping channels, so easy to get Shawshanked, and you just you're like, all right, because you just want to see that next scene, and then when you're done with it, it's like, all right, let's go to 12. There's so much fun, so much fun.
No, they're great. Really, this is a really noticeable upgrade from the previous version. So it's great.
Yep. All righty. Is it? Look at that, Steve. Bang on the button.
Where did that time go, Deej? Where did that time go?
Same place it always does. It's like flies by. Just like Steve said the same thing. Steve said the same thing. Is like it just flies by, and then like as soon as we hit stop on the record, we were like, "What didn't we get to?" And it's like we didn't even like Steve and I didn't even talk about like the movies he likes. We didn't even get into that, and it's like, and it's not like we're at a loss for anything to talk about. It just flies, So, but yes. So, thank you everybody in the chat. John, I think you're at your party that you had to go to already, so you're probably not in the chat. But it was nice seeing him. Hopefully, be back soon. I have no information other than the fact that it's been a while since he's been here, and I'm hoping time elapsed means we're getting closer to when he's back. Just a guess. Just
well, we hope so. Absolutely. And again, I ought to just say, guys, the apologies for the shorter show. This is, because of commitments that DJ and I have both got, we've had to do another shorter one this week. But that does not mean I think normally this is the length of show we're going for.
No,
it's just other commitments. Life is getting in the way.
Exactly.
So but there we go.
But But we will be back next Tuesday. I got another Takeover Tuesday for next week, I hope. Just working on scheduling one. But until the next time, thank you, everybody. Patreon, YouTube, like, subscribe, blah, 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 all that stuff. But we're going to get out of here. So, but until next time, what are you going to do?
Go push play.
What he said.
That is right. Hey, Fred. This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.